Okay? You build a rocket to go to the moon, you don't do that overnight. Rocketry, or what you call rocket science, was, you had to come before building the rocket. The same way that geometry came, as a result of building the pyramid. That's the situation. Okay? So again, so now we know that ancient Africans were used by God Almighty to develop these two subjects called chemistry and geometry. And of course, very quickly as they were being developed, people began to learn from them, okay? For example, Pythagoras was an Egyptian citizen. He was born in Egypt, okay? He was born there, and he's classified among the 3 or 4 greatest mathematicians of all time. Primarily because of this thing here, okay? The 4-5-3 triangle, which obeys the so-called Pythagoras theorem, okay? Has to have existed before Pythagoras. Because not only did the people know it 20,000 years ago, and Pythagoras was way before, after that, okay? Not only did they knew that theorem, but they actually practicalize it. They use it in the construction. They use what is now known as Pythagoras theorem way before Pythagoras ever existed. So, don't let me... Certainly. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So therefore, so again, that's the science of geometry. All right. So now we move now to GAGUT. What is GAGUT? Okay? Well, God Almighty's grand unified theorem is GAGUT. Okay? Okay? Well, first of all, before we get to GAGUT, the problem that GAGUT solved in a modern day language, okay, is called the problem of the unified field theory, okay, but this is OFAPIT, Institute of Technology. Okay? Home of GAGUT. Okay? And everybody in the world needs to support it. Okay, GeoCities, geocities.com, /IGA LA1 as the number 1. Okay? All right? And of course, the telephone number is 631-242-3069. Okay? Now, visit the website and you can get more truth. Okay? Now, GAGUT solved the problem of the unified field theory. Solved unified field theory. Okay? That's the modern definition of the origin of the universe. Okay? All right. So, if the problem is the origin of the finding out the origin of the universe and how to understand the universe, then what's the word field doing there? What does that have to do with the field? Well, in actuality, it is called the unified force. Okay? It's getting crumb here. Force field. Okay? I'm going to force. Okay? Unified force field theory. So why should we be considering a force field when all we want to do is understand the universe? Well, that relationship comes out in the following sense. I'm going to ask you a question. When you look around you since you came into existence, what have you observed to be the most fundamental thing about the universe? Movement, that's correct. Movement. Okay? Or motion. Okay? It will seem that everything in the universe moves. Okay? So therefore, if that is the case, then for a motion to occur, there must be a force behind it. Force causes motion. Motion. So if you want to understand the universe, either you look at motion or the force behind it. So if that is the case, then you want to look at the different kinds of forces that will provide motion. And in the modern study of the unified field theory, 4 forces, different kind of forces, have been identified. Number 1 is the gravity. And when we say motion, okay? When we say motion is a fundamental thing about the universe, well, we're standing here right now, okay? And it will seem as if we're static. We're not moving. But even as we appear static, we are moving. Why? Because the Mother Earth is moving. It's moving. It has, as a matter of fact, 2 different motions. Okay? You have a focus here of this ellipse. Okay? This is an elliptical path. Mother Earth is moving, along this. And then in addition, it is also rotating, okay, about its own axis. Okay, it's rotating like that, and so on. I want this to be clear. Okay, it's rotating about its axis. Okay, and then also moving around the sun. So that's 2 motion. In other words, here, Mother Earth is doing like this about its own axis, and we're all moving along with it. This is one reason why you need to pay attention to GAGUT, because you don't have a choice in that motion. Mother Earth is so much under bigger force influence that you can't stop that. That rotation about its axis is where we get night and day. You've never been able to stop night and day from occurring. Nobody has. So, and we just move along with it. Okay? So that's one kind of motion. The other motion that Mother Earth is about is along this ellipse here, which, from where we get the seasons, winter, summer, autumn and the spring and all that, okay? That's where we get that from this motion around the sun. So we know that there's motion. And everything on Earth, therefore, is moving. Everything in the solar system is moving. So there is no spot that has no motion. Absolutely none. So that's the basis on which we say that if we're studying, if we want to understand the universe, we better understand that motion, that's where we're going to get an insight to the universe. And if either we study the motion directly or we study the force behind it. That's how the theory, the problem became known as finding a unified force field theory. But first, you got to know the various forms of the force fields that exist. One of them is the gravity. Gravity is one of them, which is this one here. The one under which the Earth, Mother Earth, moves, okay? The Earth, okay, is called gravity because the sun is responsible for that motion over here and the spin as well. Okay, the sun attracts it and keeps it on that trajectory. So gravity is one kind of force field that will cause motion, like the motion of the planet. Okay? The other one is charges, a property of a unit in the universe. If they have what they call a plus charge and another plus charge like electrons and protons and so on, so we talked about before, okay? If you have like charges, they will repel, okay? This will lead to repulsion. Repulsion, okay? And repulsion may be just something to describe the activity, but repulsion is motion. In other words, they'll be moving in this direction and moving in that direction. That's what repulsion is. Okay? If on the other hand there's a negative here, then there is an attraction, okay, between these two. Okay? Okay? They will tend to come together. Either way, these are motions. Okay? Attraction. Okay? Both of them are motion. And since we said that for a motion to occur, there has to be a force field, this kind of force field that comes from charges, okay, interaction between charges, is called electromagnetic. Electromagnetic. Electromagnetic.
So those magnets that we play with sometimes,
yes,
are actually showing us.
Oh yeah, that's motion.
That's the actually.
That's motion.
Gravitational.
That's
exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, that's a force field. Okay, gravity force field. Okay, and electromagnetic force field. Okay. Okay, and then the other one is related to what they came out of the atom. Let's take the lithium atom. Okay? It has a proton, actually 3 protons. Okay? And a neutron and a neutron and a neutron. Okay? So of course we have that, and we have that, and we have that. Okay? Electron that are. Okay? Now, this is the core here. We said that like charges would repel. So how is it that we're able to have 3 protons very close, together in the nucleus of the lithium atom? How is that? If like charges repel, then the nucleus of the lithium atom and the other elements outside hydrogen, helium and all that should be unstable, to say the least. Certainly should be completely unstable if this is the case, because this will be pushing this and this will be pushing that, and it should be exploding actually. But that's not what happened. It is stable. How come? That is possible because there's another kind of force field that glues them together, keeps them together, and that is called a strong force field. Strong force field. So a strong force field would cause motion, or in this case, prevent motion. That means it is